Welcome back to Everything Entertaining with Esther. In today's video, I'm gonna jump right in and let you guys know what are the best thrift shops you should visit in Brooklyn, New York City. What are the pros and cons? Which shops are more budget friendly than the others? As well as what route to take, because as we know, traveling in New York City is probably the most time consuming throughout this whole entire process. So if you're going to thrift for the day, I would say set aside 5 hours to hit up all the thrift stores, and I'm gonna tell you guys which shops to hit up first and which to hit up last. Let's get into it. Why I go thrifting, because I feel like everyone's reason as to why they go thrifting is very different, but the reasons why I go thrifting is because I'm very tired of fast fashion. For example, recently I purchased from a brand that I actually highly vouched for in a previous YouTube video. I found semi-decent quality, okay prices. It wasn't anything crazy. Now, the recent haul in which I purchased online, and this is not to slander any particular brand, but I find that every time I go to these fast fashion stores, the quality just keeps getting worse and worse. Here's an example. I'm not gonna show you what brand this one is, but the moment I open this out of the package, yeah, and it's the type of material that's super thin and sheer that you wouldn't be able to fix this at all. I'm someone who upcycles thrift pieces. So when I find a good quality piece that doesn't necessarily fit or sit the way that I want it to, I cinch it in. I hand stitch that bitch, all right? But in this case, I can't hand stitch this. It's just that type of material that doesn't allow me to fix the actual problem. And why am I getting broken pieces fresh out of the package? This shouldn't be an issue. A lot of the time, these big corporations want to reduce costs in order to increase their profit sale margin. So they will diminish the quality of their pieces and send shit material to the manufacturers. Anyways, we're not doing fast fashion anymore. We're sticking to thrift pieces that you can continue to upcycle or resell if they no longer fit. And as someone whose weight fluctuates quite frequently, I found that thrifting has been the best route for me, considering, yeah, sure, you get those trendy pieces that are in style for 2-3 weeks, but come around next season and it's no longer relevant. So I'm based in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and I wanted to accomplish hitting up as many thrift stores in one day as possible. First, I hit up Doomsday Express. It's located on Wilson Avenue in Brooklyn. I didn't purchase anything at Doomsday Express. However, I think that as someone who is looking to purchase budget-friendly pieces of clothing that don't have any particular brand name, it's something worth visiting. The second thrift shop I visited was L Train Vintage, located on DeKalb Avenue. This particular thrift store was great in terms of genuine leather pieces, much better quality, as well as jean options and different shoes as well. I've actually purchased a pair of shoes there for a dance video that I recently posted on my channel. I was able to get something really fast, and it was super easy because this particular location is not busy. Every time I've gone, there've been a handful of people there, but what I hate the most about thrifting is, like, you're trying to find a piece and there are 7 other people on the same rack. Now, just literally like 400 or 500 feet away is another thrift store called GG Social. What made this one special was the way they organized their pieces. Although it's very small, it offered me a boutique experience where each rack was categorized by article of clothing as well as color and style. I really liked the way the changing rooms were set up as well. It is more on the medium to higher end of particular thrift stores, I would say, and each piece stood out from the other, which I really loved. So the piece that I got, I still have the tag here, it was 20 bucks, and although that's more on the medium range for thrift pieces, I felt like this material was unlike anything I've ever seen at a thrift store. Definitely my number one thrift store today. I do want to emphasize that my number one changes by the day. This piece was made in Korea. So yes, I'm a little biased, but it's really good quality. The color is impeccable and it feels so good. The fourth thrift store that I visited was called Raccoon Thrift. Similar to Doomsday Express, this thrift shop was very messy. It was hard to find anything. I sorted through each and every rack and I found nothing of quality. A lot of the pieces are what I would describe things that people drop off at a donation pile. They just no longer fit the current trend, which is why particular thrift stores are picky about what they purchase when you are selling to them. So I was in and out of there within a matter of like 10-15 minutes, whereas I spent a good 45 minutes at L Train because I was contemplating whether or not to get this really cute real fur lined jacket, and I can tell the difference between fake fur and real fur. It's really in the touch. It feels real. But a lot of vintage or thrift stores, what they fail to do is upcharge for the real fur, which is obviously why people like me would go thrifting, because we're not trying to pay the full price of what an actual real fur coat would sell for at other stores. All right, moving on to our fifth thrift store, I visited Urban Jungle, which is probably the biggest thrift store I've ever seen in Brooklyn. It's the one located on Knickerbocker Avenue, kind of on the cusp of Williamsburg, but I'm pretty sure that they're one in the same. There are two entryways to these two thrift stores. I'm gonna call the smaller one L Train and the bigger one Urban Jungle. So when I first visited Urban Jungle, I was under the impression that I was at L Train Vintage. They offered two very different things. The smaller shop on the corner of that Knickerbocker Avenue, it is more on the pricier side. Their one t-shirt that had the Beatles on it, I don't know if it was because the shirt was new, but was $50. They're definitely taking advantage of the fact that they do know the current trends. What I enjoyed most about this Urban Jungle L Train situation was that there was so much to look through. I spent a good 2 hours. Right behind me, I have the brown trench coat from Urban Jungle that I purchased. The brand is Carol and John's. It is a large. So a lot of trench coats have like this itchy real wool material, but this must be lined with something else. It's an amalgamation of different material according to the percentages in the label. However, it's in Japanese, so I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what it's comprised of. The second to last location I visited was called Beacon's Closet. There are two locations in Brooklyn, as I know there to be, located on Bogart Street in Brooklyn. I really loved visiting this Beacon's Closet because there was just so much to look through, and all the pieces were exactly what I was looking for in today's objective of shopping. High quality. I loved how everything was color coordinated. You could clearly see each piece, figure out where to start and where to end. and I pretty much searched every single rack in that establishment. They didn't have any jewelry pieces, so I opted out of looking through the jewelry and stuck to looking at their handbags, which they had a really nice selection of. Some were priced on the higher end, but you can clearly tell that the quality showed for it, as well as their clothing pieces. So the piece that I bought from there, I'm currently wearing right now in this video. I have been looking for a nice plain white shirt that kind of had certain accents. I really love the neckline, the sleeves. Guess how much, guys? $7. Lastly, I wanted to hit up one more thrift shop before I called it a night. After 4 hours in, I hit up New Brooklyn Fashion, located on Broadway, on the way back home. And the best part about this thrift was that it closed at 8:30, so it was the one open the latest out of all the thrift stores. Surprising fact, I did pick up something today from that thrift store. Mid-thigh length, which is great. And it's an England-made brand, Karen Millen. The elastic kind of reminds me of BCBG. Affordable as well, only $18. I spent a total of $60 on all the pieces, $20 on the orange top, $15 on the trench coat, $7 on the white shirt, and $18 on the black dress. And before closing out this video, I did want to tell you about Buffalo Exchange. Probably one of the most popular thrift stores in various states. When I was going to university near Boston, they have a location there, but I was happy to see that they also had a location here in Brooklyn. I've only sold about 4 or 5 things to them because there's only so much that they'll take. In fact, they'll deny pretty much everything you bring to them if it's not on par with what they're currently looking for. I believe the same is true for Beacon's Closet. They do sell and purchase pieces from you, and then you do receive credit as well as cash. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if I was of any help to you. Comment below if you have any questions at all about your thrift journey here in Brooklyn.